Hello, welcome once again to another week for your German Bundesliga predictions. I hope you had a wonderful week last game week, and I wish you all the best heading into this game week. Please, I'm asking you to subscribe, share these videos with your friends, or share it on your social media pages so that we can get more persons come here to subscribe and get this wonderful content. And also, this is a wonderful way to earn some income on the side. This is passive income, and as I say, one thing the coronavirus has taught us is that we can't have one source of income. So this is another way to earn passively. All right. So we're going to head straight into it, and our first game for this week is Bremen versus Augsburg. Bremen being the home team, Werder Bremen being the home team. Augsburg off to a poor start to the season, and based on the head-to-head, as you can see here, the last 5 games, Bremen have won 3, Augsburg they have won 2, and we have not had a draw. So this is suggesting that we should have a winner coming this weekend. That is. Alright then, so therefore I'm going to head straight into it. In terms of my prediction, I'm going with Bremen to win this game. Bremen to win. I would say both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I would go with Bremen or Augsburg to win and both teams to score. Our predicted scoreline for this one is 2-1 in favor of Bremen. If you don't want to bet the correct scoreline, you can always go on the handicap system and bet for Bremen to win by a goal. Alright, I get in $2.70 for that. Alright, and so therefore I'm expecting over 1.5 goals for this game also. So again, my predictions for the Bremen versus Augsburg game, I'm expecting Bremen to win this game. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either to win and both to score. Alright, my predicted scoreline is 2-1 in favor of Bremen. And also, if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go on the handicap system and bet for Werder Bremen to win by a goal. And in terms of number of goals, I'm expecting over 1.5 goals for this game. Alright, we're going to head straight into our next game, which is Bayern Munich versus Stuttgart. Alright, Bayern Munich versus Stuttgart. This should be an interesting one. Bayern Munich playing the Champions League this week as well. So I'm not certain if this is going to have much of a bearing on this game, but I'm going to go with Bayern Munich to win. I think it might affect the number of goals that they would end up scoring in this game, but Bayern Munich, I'm expecting to win this one. And in terms of a double chance, I would go and say I'm going to go and say either team to win and both not to score. My predicted scoreline for this game, I'm expecting Bayern to win this one 2-0. In terms of the handicap system, you could go ahead and bet for Bayern Munich to win by a goal. Alright. Also, for this game, in terms of number of goals, I think that we're going to have I go for under 4.5. Alright. So again, my predictions for the Bayern Munich versus Stuttgart game, Bayern Munich being at home, I'm expecting Bayern Munich to win here. In terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both to score, either team and both not to score. Sorry, not to score, as you can see there. My predicted scoreline is for Bayern Munich to win 2-0. And also on the handicap system, I'd go with Bayern Munich to win by a goal. In terms of number of goals, I'm going to say that we're going to have under 4.5 goals for this game. Alright, that means that we should have 4 goals or less. Otherwise, we might be in a little bit of trouble. But I don't think we're going to have that many goals in this game, right? So we're going to go to our next game, which is Eintracht Frankfurt versus Wolfsburg. Eintracht Frankfurt being the home team here. I'm expecting Eintracht Frankfurt to come out on top in this game, to be honest with you. Sure, it's about time to put the subs together. And I do expect them to win this game over Wolfsburg. Otherwise, it might end up in a team draw, but I'm expecting this one to go in favor of Eintracht. Alright, I'm expecting Eintracht to win. And also in terms of correct score, I'd go ahead and say for Eintracht to win this one 3-1. So that's how we're going to do that on that system. And in terms of the handicap system, you can go with Eintracht to win by a goal. And that's $3.40. And also in terms of number of goals for this game, I would go ahead and say over 1.5. Alright, so again, predictions for this game, Eintracht Frankfurt versus Wolfsburg. I'm expecting Eintracht Frankfurt to win here. They'll also be in Europe, and so this might have a bearing on this game. So otherwise, worst case scenario could end in a draw. So Eintracht Frankfurt to win though. In terms of a predicted scoreline, I'm going to say Eintracht to win this one 3-1. On the handicap system, I'll go with Eintracht to win by a goal. And I see we're going to have over 1.5 goals for this game. Alright, that's in terms of another double chance. I would give you another double chance here. Let's go back to main markets. And in terms of a double chance, I would go and say either team to win, both score. Alright, another double chance that you can do. Alright, it's a double chance that you can do. That double chance did either team to win and both to score. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Eintracht versus Wolfsburg game. And we're going to jump next to our next game, which is Hertha Berlin versus Bayern Leverkusen. And Hertha Berlin versus Bayern Leverkusen. Now, for this game, Hertha being at home, Bayern Leverkusen also playing in Europe, I think. Yes, they're playing in Europe. And so therefore, this might have a bearing on this game. And so let's see how this goes. Right, so for this game, Bayern Leverkusen versus Hertha Berlin being the home team here. This game might end up being an interesting one. And so for this game though, in terms of number of goals, I'm going to start with the number of goals first. And for this game, I'm saying that we're going to have over 2.5 goals for this game. And I'm going to give you next a double chance. And so in terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both to score. Alright, in terms of my predicted scoreline, I would go ahead and I'm going to have Bayern Leverkusen here to win this game 2-1. Alright, and in terms of a handicap system, I would go on the handicap system and I'd take Bayern Leverkusen to win by a goal. Alright. Well, again, recapping my predictions for the Hertha Berlin versus Bayer Leverkusen game, I am expecting over 2.5 goals for this game. In terms of a double chance, I go with Hertha or Leverkusen to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-1 in favor of Bayern Leverkusen. And on the handicap system, I'd go with Bayern Leverkusen to win by a goal. Alright. So those are my predictions for that game, and we're going to jump right into the next game, which is Hoffenheim versus Mainz. And I say, if you're using the Betway platform, just so you can always check the stats out. You can look at the standings, and you can look at possible lineups. Lineups don't mean much until the match day. That is, this is useless in a sense. You can go on head-to-head, and you get this win probability and all that jazz. Alright then, so I'm going to jump straight back into it. And so, alright then, my predictions for the Hoffenheim versus Mainz game. Hoffenheim versus Mainz, Hoffenheim being at home. This one should be a good one. I'm going to expect Hoffenheim to take this one here. Expecting them to play well enough, expecting both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I do exactly with that. Either team to win and both to score, yes. In terms of scoreline, I'm going to go ahead and say 3-1 here in favor of Hoffenheim. On the handicap system, I go with Hoffenheim to win by a goal. Alright, Hoffenheim to win by a goal. Hoffenheim to win by a goal. Alright, so my predictions for the Hoffenheim versus Mainz game. Hoffenheim being at home, I'm expecting Hoffenheim to take the victory here. In terms of both teams scoring, I would say yes. In terms of double chance, I'll go with either team to win and both to score. My predicted scoreline for this game is Hoffenheim to win this one 3-1. And in terms of the handicap system, I'd go ahead and say Hoffenheim to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Hoffenheim versus Mainz game. And it should be an interesting one, an interesting matchup. Alright, the just for places in the top 5, yeah. Alright then, so moving on to our next game, RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund off to an awful start. They'll also be playing in Europe this week as well as RB Leipzig will also be playing in Europe. So this might have a bearing on this game, and I think it might affect the amount of goals that we might get in this game, to be honest with you. RB Leipzig might not be concentrating much on Europe. They might be concentrating on playing well in the German Bundesliga so that they can qualify for the Champions League next season again. Likewise, Borussia Dortmund, they haven't been off to a very good start, so we should continue doing that, and they should continue going that way. And so they might just play well enough to last, maybe, and then they end up over into the Europa League, and then they maybe give the Europa League more of a shot. Both teams I'm expecting maybe could do that. All right, because they don't really stand a chance in the Champions League this season. They don't want to be overextending themselves, and that might affect the position in the German Bundesliga. Speaking of position, let's take a look at where they are in the German Bundesliga. Dortmund, after an awful start, but surprisingly they're in second on 12 points, just behind Freiburg, and Bayern Munich is in third. That's only for a matter of time. They had an unexpected draw there that we didn't expect them to have, so that's the reason why they are sitting in third. In terms of Leipzig is all the way in 11th with 5 points. As I said, they're off to an awful start, so but I'm expecting them to pick themselves back up over time. All right. In terms of the last head-to-head, the last 5 games, Leipzig has 2 wins, Dortmund has 3. So therefore, my predictions for this game, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say both teams to score, and I'm going to go straight to a double chance, and I'm saying either to score, either to win and both to score. Sorry for that. And I'm going to say again, in terms of a win, I'd go ahead and I'm going to say Leipzig should squeeze them here. Otherwise, I think this game is going to end up in a draw. Both teams coming back from their week in the Champions League, it might affect this one. I'd go with Leipzig to take this one by a goal as well. In terms of number of goals, I would go and say, all right, then we're going to have under 3.5 goals for this. So therefore, my predictions for the Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund game, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a double chance, I'd say Leipzig or Borussia Dortmund to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline is 2-1 in favor of Leipzig. Otherwise, it might be the other way around or a draw. And on the handicap system, I'd go with Leipzig to win this one by a goal. You could also go with Dortmund to win this one by a goal as well. Should be getting some good odds for that as well. And my other prediction is that I'm expecting under 3.5 goals for this game. All right. So just to look at what Dortmund is getting to win by a goal here, if it's worth your while. Dortmund to win by a goal. Dortmund to win by a goal is $5.25. So it's worth your while. You bet for Dortmund to win this game by a goal. So that means that if Dortmund wins this one 2-0, they would win the game by a goal. If they won it 3-1, they'd win by a goal. Alright. So, alright then. So those are my predictions for the RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund game. Alright. So we're going to go to our next game, which is Schalke versus Bochum. Schalke versus Bochum. This should be an interesting one, I believe. Be honest with you, let's see where both teams are in the league. Schalke is sitting in 15th and 3 points. Bochum in the relegation zone on 0 points. 0 points. This game is going to be an interesting one, to be honest with you. These teams, they are not playing their best football. They have been awful all season. After a very poor start, and I'm expecting that this one should be a slow burner. I'm saying this one is going to end in a draw, and I'm expecting that in terms of a double chance, I'd say either team to win and both not to score. My predicted scoreline for this one is 1-1. In terms of number of goals, I'd go ahead and say under 3.5. And so therefore, these are my predictions for the Schalke versus Bochum game. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. In terms of a double chance, I'll go and say either team to win and both not to score. My predicted scoreline is 1-1, and I'm expecting under 3.5 goals for this game. So, should be an interesting game coming this weekend versus Schalke versus Bochum, that is. And so that's the last game for Saturday, and so we're going to head into Sunday. Alright, and Sunday we start with Cologne versus Union Berlin. And Cologne versus Union Berlin, Cologne being the home team here. Alright, so based on the head-to-head, the last 5 games, Union have won 4, and we have had 1 draw. So Cologne is yet to put a tick in their box. And so this might change coming this weekend. You never know. And so, but in terms of my predictions for this game here, I am looking here and I'm going to say here that we should have a draw. I believe we should have a draw for this one. And I think that it's going to be a high scoring draw in the sense that both teams to score and either to win. That's another double chance that we can take in terms of my scoreline. I'm going to say 12. Alright. In terms of goals for this match, I'm going to say we're going to have over 2.5. Alright, so my predictions for the Cologne versus Union Berlin game, I'm saying that this one should end in a draw. And in terms of a double chance, I'd go and say either team to win and both to score. Yeah. And my predicted scoreline for this game is 2-all. I'm saying also in terms of number of goals, we should have over 2.5 goals for this game. Alright, so those are my predictions. Now we're going to head into the final game for this game week for the German Bundesliga. I hope you're all taking notes and you're putting those slips together. And as I say, anywhere from 3 to 5 games per slip. Alright, no more than that. The less predictions you have per slip, the better for you. Easier it is to win, to be honest with you. And so we end the week with the table toppers, Freiburg versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. And so this one should be an interesting one also. Freiburg being at home, a team that usually does very well at home, to be honest with you. They tend not to lose too many games at home. And so as a result, I'm going to say here, I'm expecting both teams to score. And I'm going to go with a double chance and I say both teams to score and either to win. I predicted scoreline for this game, Freiburg being at home, I'm going to give them the edge here and I'm going to say that they're going to win 2-1. Otherwise, it might end in a draw, to be honest with you. In terms of the handicap system, I'd go ahead and bet for Freiburg to win by a goal. Freiburg to win by a goal, $3.60. In terms of goals in this game, I'm going to say that we're going to have under 1.5 goals for this game, alright? So these are my predictions for the Freiburg versus Borussia Mönchengladbach game. And this should be an interesting one. We're Freiburg being on top of the table for the time being with 12 points. Just a point ahead of Bayern Munich. That shouldn't be for too long. But they're setting the pace here. Early season run. As I said, maybe heading into the World Cup, they might find themselves in the top 5, which would be good for them. And so they are going to make use of that. So this should be an interesting game. And so continue to put your predictions together. And as I say, take your best 3 or your best 5 and put that on a slip and make 1 or 2 slips, and then that's it for your game week. Alright, then thank you very much again for your time and continue to watch and subscribe.